Hey everybody, let me fix y'all up here. Alright. Hey, what's up everybody? What's going on? Today is the 30th, I believe. It's October 30th and we're on cycle day 12. And I have some information that I wanted to share with you all. As I stated to you guys last week, I had my first infertility screening yesterday, and I just wanted to give you guys just a little bit of information on, what happened, what I did, what was done to me. Sorry, y'all, my allergies. What was done to me, and the things that I'm going to be doing this week. Some additional stuff. So this is going to be like a part 1 to it in a 3-part series, because after we get all the different testing done and everything like that, we have to see the doctor in 6 weeks. And so we have to go back in 6 weeks to see him for to see if anything transpired, or if to see the results of certain tests that I had done. Now, first things first, the infertility screening included a full body workup, blood tests, a urine test, and a pap smear. I got a pap smear, and I also got a vaginal ultrasound. I knew the proper word for it, but that's basically what it was. Transvaginal ultrasound, where they stick a probe, this long probe, in your vagina to see, what's going on and everything. Now, the first things first. Now, I said I was going to try to vlog, but I could not vlog because I was scared shitless, and I was nervous as hell, and I hadn't been to the doctor in a while, so I was just pretty much scared out of my mind, didn't know what was going to happen, didn't know what to expect, and forgot what a pap smear was like. So, first things first, the doctor was rude as hell. His bedside manner was horrible, so horrible. He was really, really harsh. And just to sidetrack a little bit, but it's in reference to what I'm saying. I'm learning. For those who don't know, I'm in college right now, and I'm doing a class called Cultural Diversity, and where we have to do research on different ethnic people, nationalities, origins, or whatever, and we research and we learn about their traits, their different, their language, their customs, and all that. And so, because a lot of times we deal with people on a daily basis, and they behave and act a certain way, and a lot of times we as Americans take offense to, but it's all part of their culture. That's just how they are. You know what I'm saying? And once you realize, where this person comes from, you kind of not really shocked at how they behave in certain senses. But with this doctor, I know doctors have to be, unattached and, straightforward and, all that jazz. But this guy was just first of all, he was Russian. I don't have an issue with nobody under the sun, but he was Russian, and he was if you know anything about anybody from Moscow or Russian people or whatever, I don't know if it's just him in general. I'm just gonna make it a specific thing because I don't know how the people are, but he was Russian, and he was extremely hardcore, he had this kind of complex where the first thing that I noticed is that he talked down to the nurses. like talk down to them, because I had requested that my husband be, accompany me in the examination room while I get my examination, and the guy would not allow it. He would not allow it. And when the young lady went to go, when I was in the examination room, when the young lady went to call my husband to come in, my husband told me that he was just like, who told you to invite him in? Tell him to go back in the waiting room and close my door. Like, he was so rude. He was so damn rude. And he was just like super hardcore. When he took my blood, first of all, he couldn't find, he didn't know what he was doing as far as I'm concerned, because I've had blood taken, and that's why I prefer nurses to take blood instead of doctors, because doctors are just, they're a piece of shit. Well, not, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that all doctors are, but some of them just don't know, nothing. And he couldn't find the vein. And what he was doing was that he was taking the needle in my arm, and while it was already stuck in my arm, he was like digging around. And do you know that hurts? And so I was just like, okay, like, and he was just like, he took his hand and did like this, because it was like a huge window off to the left side of my face. So he was like, he took my face, was just like, look this way. And he was just like, don't look at the needle, and because if you look at the needle, then I have to hear a lot of noise. He was so rude. I was just like, first of all, you're hurting me. That's number one. But I didn't say anything because I figured, I didn't know where he was from yet. And so I knew he was like a foreigner, and so I know in some cultures, women are like treated like children, and so that's how he behaved. Like, that's how he was talking to me and to his nurses. Like, we were like, subservient, that's how he was talking. So I was just like, okay, I need to get this done. So, I have to be able to conform and shut off my attitude and just deal with whatever it is, because he's not my real doctor. I'm just going to him to get these things done, but he won't be like my regular physician, because that ain't gonna work. But anyway, so then he decided to put the needle in my on the back part of my hand, and he was able to draw blood from there. And I was just so irritated by that, but he was so rude about it, but he was like hurting me. Anyway, so we did the transvaginal ultrasound, which was like the worst. I honestly felt like I cheated on my husband with that damn thing. Long ass pole that they stick up in your vagina, and they put a condom on it and lubrication and all that. I'm telling y'all the real deal. So when y'all go, for those who want to go for an exam, you know what to expect. I told you I'm gonna tell you the real. And so they ask you if you're allergic to latex condoms, and then they put a condom on the long probe. And then they have you, the nurse, the technician that was there, she had me like inserted in, and then she was able to like, and it was so horribly uncomfortable, like really, I hate that thing with a passion. And, and it took like 20 minutes, of that. And so, she looked around and she saw that I had a cyst on my right ovary. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about cysts on ovaries, okay? An ovarian cyst is a fluid-filled sac that forms on or inside a woman's ovary. The two organs responsible for producing eggs and certain hormones in women. Most ovarian cysts aren't dangerous to a woman's health, which is good, considering they most often occur between puberty and menopause during a woman's childbearing years. Most cysts are benign, meaning they are not cancerous. For women planning on having children, the issue of a cyst can raise plenty of questions. In this article, we'll look at how ovarian cysts affect a woman's body, in particular, her fertility. Ovarian cysts can interfere with a woman's ability to ovulate. The process where ovaries release a mature egg through the fallopian tubes and into the uterus. Irregularities with ovulation account for a quarter of infertility cases in women, but not all cysts act this way. And we'll also look at the different types of ovarian cysts, whether they affect fertility. There is hope for women facing infertility. In major cases, 85 to 90% are resolved through procedures involving surgery or medicine. It should go without saying, evidence that an ovarian cyst causing infertility can only be diagnosed by a medical professional. And so, the thing what I hate about, you know, doctors and stuff is like they try to like be so secretive, you know, but the lady was kind of like talking to herself while she was doing the transvaginal ultrasound, and so she kind of like, you know how they talk to themselves and they're looking, they're like, oh, okay, I see I see a cyst on your right ovary, your left ovary. She told me my left ovary. She wasn't talking to me, I guess, but she kind of was, but she kind of wasn't, if you understand what I mean. She was like, but your left ovary is fine, and she was just like, well, you better hope that your tubes are not blocked or whatever. That's how she said it too. And so, and I was just like, okay. And so then the doctor came in, and my husband still didn't come in. I didn't even know what was going on with that. He never came in to the examination room, and so he did the pap smear, and he was so rough. You know, he was like this close and get kicked in his freaking forehead. You know, he was just like really ridiculous. You know, but he was quick. So he did the pap smear and everything, and the breast exam and all that, and then yeah, I don't know. I guess I was trying to overlook a lot of like his attitude or whatever, because I just wanted to get the situation, you know, get it done or whatever. And so of course the biggest conversation was about my weight, and how, you know, my weight is causing me to overproduce estrogen, which is causing me not to conceive. And of course you guys know I'm in the process of losing weight, and I'm working out and all that stuff like that. I didn't gain it overnight, it ain't gonna come off overnight, but I'm in the process of working on it, definitely, like hardcore working on it. So I didn't even mention any of that stuff because he didn't really leave any room for me to actually talk. You know, he was just telling me what to do, and I had, you know, thank God I had like my pad and paper. He was like, write this down, and he was telling me what to write and underline this, you know. And so he was telling me that we needed to get a my husband, he wrote us a prescription to go get. He is going to get a semen analysis. I'm going to call today to get the appointment, which was $125. And then for me, they need to check to see if my tubes are blocked. So I'm supposed to be getting it's a salpingogram. Hystero-salpinggogram. I got the broken down Hystero-salpingogram. That's what it's called. Hystero salpingogram. salpingogram. Okay, I'm pretty much just like the HSC, or I don't even know if that's what that is, but I'll tell you about this procedure. I'm having the procedure done tomorrow morning at 9:30. And so what the Hystero-salpingogram is, it is a special radiological examination of the uterus and fallopian tubes. It involves introducing a contrast agent, a colorless fluid which is visible on x-rays, via a tube which has been passed through the neck of the womb. The tube is held in place by a small balloon placed at the neck of the womb. A radiologist, with the help of a radiographer and an assistant, will carry out the examination. And it says, you know, you will just, when I made the appointment, the lady was telling me that before I come to take some Tylenol, because, you know, I will experience some cramping after the procedure. And so, most important, the examination can only be done between the 7th to the 14th day of your menstrual cycle. So me doing everything, you know, waiting after my cycle was like perfect timing, because I was able to get all the procedures that I needed to get done this week done. And so I'm on cycle day 12, so it's like perfect timing. And so you know, and so if you want to bring somebody, come. My husband took off yesterday, and so I don't want him to take off, you know, any more days out of the week, you know. So I talked to my mother, who is a registered nurse, you know, operating room nurse, and she's going to take me, because she was telling me that she assisted on many of those types of procedures, and they sedate you a little bit, and so I won't be able to really drive. So tomorrow she's going to take me to the procedure, and that's what I'm going to have done. Now, one thing that's good about this procedure is that I have a really close friend who had the exact procedure done. Now, she was telling me that because she had this, well, in her particular case, her tubes were completely blocked, both of them, and she went to have this particular procedure done. Now, you know, the procedure, pretty much, like, I guess in layman's terms, is like when you have a straw, okay, picture just a regular drinking straw that you drink liquid out of, right? That is pretty much what your tube is like, okay? Picture your tube as like a straw. And what they do is take a colorless, clear fluid that could be shown up on an X-ray, and they shoot it through to see if it comes out, you know, to see if there's any blockages. Now, what happened in my friend's case is the whole act of them shooting that fluid through that tube, what was blocking, it wasn't a severe blockage, because the act of them shooting that fluid ultimately unblocked her tubes. And at her 6-week appointment, she was already pregnant. So it's probably, I'm praying that it's like the same situation with me, that the act of them shooting this fluid through my tubes will, you know, get rid of, if there's any blockage, because we're just assuming that there is. If there's any blockage, you know, they can, you know, get rid of it by just shooting. So I'm hoping that's the same. I hope that happens, you know, it's the same case with myself. And so, you know, after I have that procedure, my husband's going to have the semen analysis on this coming Saturday. And then we go for, we have to go back to Dr. Rudeness, in 6 weeks for I'm pretty much just for another workup and the results of, you know, those tests. And so I'm really hoping that we have a little bun in the oven by that time. Side note, he did ask me to purchase Fertilate. I was shocked when he asked me to, you know, because you know how doctors are, they were so quick to write you a prescription for stuff. But that's not him, honey. He was just like, I want you to get the Fertilate and take it 3 times a day, like they said. Get the Fertilate for men and women, and you both take it. And he was just like, have sex every day, and he was so like serious about that. He was just like, you only have your fertile time is like, you can, within like, you know, 24 to 36 hours, so you can easily miss that time. So after you have all your procedures done and you feel better, make love every single day. And he was just I think he had like a personal problem. I don't think this was anything important, but he made it very clear, you know, no oral sex, no fingering. He was like, none of that foolishness, just intercourse. And he told me, he was just like, make sure that, because they were asking me like after intercourse, do I get up? And I was like, well, I lay there for like 45 minutes to an hour. And so he was just like, well, you don't need to get up at all. After you have sex or you BD or whatever the case may be, you make sure you put a towel on the bed and you just sleep like that for the rest of the night. Don't get up, don't do nothing, just sleep like that for the rest of the night. And so I was just like, okay. I was like, okay, it's gonna be hard because I'm like a pee monster. After BDing, I have to pee, but whatever. I'll really try to squeeze out as much pee as I can before I BD, so that I can just lay there, as he so eloquently put it. But yeah, it was straight. I just, certain things you just have to overlook, just for the greater good. And in life, you have to fight your battles. To me, it didn't benefit me arguing with him or like, oh, you're so rude, da, 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 da. If it comes up like at our 6-week appointment, because the office does offer, but our insurance they offer prenatal, only first trimester prenatal care. And so that won't be happening because I don't do rudeness very well. I can only do rudeness in doses. I can't do constant rudeness. So after our 6-week appointment, we will say our goodbyes, and I'll get copies of all of my stuff, all of my results. I'll get copies of all of the procedures that we had done, so that I can give them to my OBGYN to put in their records once we choose one in January. Once we go to, I get one in January. So yeah, that was my experience in a nutshell. It wasn't nothing video worthy, I can tell you that. But it was not a pleasant experience. But at this point in the game, I'll do whatever it takes to get that BFP into, just like I was telling my husband, because he was like crying and complaining because when I made the appointment for the Hystero-salpinggogram, the receptionist told me that we are not to have intercourse at all before the procedure. And he was like, oh, that's not fair. He was just whining and crying because we were instructed not to have intercourse before the fertility analysis exam, but because of the whole, you're going to get a pap smear and all that. So he was crying and whining. So, we use condoms. So, and I haven't used a condom, oh my God, in 100 years. Since I've been married, and it's horrible. Ugh, I can't deal with the condom, but we had no choice because he was like, oh, you're going to, deny me for the whole week because all this stuff we have to do. And I was like, look, child, I'm not going to say what I really said because I don't want to offend nobody, but if you black, you pretty much know what I said. I was like, look, I'm the one that's going through all the uncomfortableness, not you. All you got to do is masturbate in the cup. That's as far as your involvement goes. You don't go through. And he was complaining about that too, like, oh my God, that's so weird. How am I going to do that? I was like, look, just do it. So let me see if I'm still recording. Yeah, I am. So yeah, so I told him, you have to just suck it up. We'll, if it all goes well, we'll start, Saturday and, BDing and just do what we got to do. But, just for the sake of these different tests and, for the sake of following instructions, we'll abstain from intercourse until probably like Friday or Saturday. He's really hoping for Friday. But yeah, but that's everything that I went through in a nutshell. So this is gonna be like part 2 of the experience, and then part 3 will come in 6 weeks because we have to go see him in December. So for another exam, and December 5th, I think that's 6 weeks from what he was saying, or December 11th, whatever the case may be. But it's like a week before Christmas. We have to go back and see him to get all the information that we needed to get. And I'm pretty much sure he wants to see that I've lost a little bit of weight. So what I did was that I decided to join a gym. And I picked up Planet Fitness because it's right by my house and it's $10 a month on it, so I can definitely handle that. And when I went to the gym before, I did really, really well because I like to run and elliptical, and I'm like hardcore when I'm in the gym, you know. When you're at home, it's like you can choose to do it or you choose not to do it. When you're paying for a gym, you're paying money to go, so it's like, you know, you gotta go. So since I dropped my husband off at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, I'll go straight from dropping him to work to the gym, you know, from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. No, say from 6:30 to like 7:45, or probably try to 8 o'clock. I'll work out probably 6 days a week, you know. And so, you know, hopefully I can get 20 pounds, you know, 15 to 20 pounds dropped, you know, by the time I see Dr. Rudeness, you know, so he could see that I am serious and I'm not, you know, whatever. So yeah, that's all, folks. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you have any advice for how I should prepare for the Hystero-salpinggogram test, you know, that would be greatly appreciated, because all I know is, you know, don't have sex and take Tylenol before I go. And so I'm going to make sure I'm, you know, so fresh and so clean and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope, you know, I told you guys, as I experienced it, I will, you know, inform you all. So that's pretty much it. So I will talk to you guys later. Pray for us and hope that we can, you know, conceive and everything is fine, and hopefully the cyst doesn't, you know, bother anything, and, you know, all that. So that's pretty much it. So I'll talk to you guys later. My eyes are watering, sorry. But I'll talk to you guys later. Okay? Peace and hair. Bye.